Good evening, I'm Anna Jabłońska. Welcome to Poland Daily. The President of Poland, Andrzej Duda, as well as the Polish Prime Minister, Mateusz Morawiecki, and the leader of the Law and Justice Party, Jarosław Kaczyński, will take part in the March of Freedom on November 11th, on the occasion of the 100th anniversary of Poland regaining its independence. Meanwhile, the opposition politicians will not be participating in the event, open for everyone.
After
the consultations of the President of Poland, Andrzej Duda, and the Polish Prime Minister, Mateusz Morawiecki, the decision about the march on the occasion of the 100th anniversary of Poland regaining its independence was made. The march will have a governmental character and it will have the same road as the March of Freedom was supposed to have. Everyone is invited, but there is one rule that says you can only bring white red flags but no banners. The Polish military will be in charge of security.
We are all Poles and we want to celebrate this important day. I think that a white-red flag is something that should connect people despite the political division and current conflicts. No one has the right to stop the national celebrations, not even Mrs. Gawor.
The march is under President Andrzej Duda's patronage. The police will take care of the safety and the military is the organizer, so I believe that nothing bad can happen. Everyone has the invitation to the march, but we already know that not everyone will be present at the event. The Civic Platform Party and the Modern Party's politicians won't participate in the event for sure. The Cookies 15 movement politicians say that they will take part. The march will take place on November 11th at 3 p.m., so an hour later than the March of Freedom.
Polish court issued a European arrest warrant for the former Stalinist Judge Stefan Michnik. He is under suspicion of communist wrongdoing. The warrant relates to Michnik giving out death sentences for Polish underground activists using falsified evidence in the times of communist rule in Poland.
We would like to inform you about the decision to detain Stefan Michnik. It's a symbolic decision as it does not involve the over 100 judges who should have been prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law after the fall of communism in Poland. This warrant only concerns one person, as the prosecution managed to find the evidence and press charges against him. The charges included, but were not limited to, the committing of 4 judicial murders. The aim of the European arrest warrant is to bring Stefan Michnik to Poland, put him on trial and hold him liable for his atrocities. We managed to collect a very extensive amount of evidence. The prosecutor conducted an analysis of tens of volumes of various criminal cases from the 1940s and 50s, which enabled us to press charges against Stefan Michnik. There were 30 charges in total, including 4 counts of wrongful death sentences. The remaining claims concern repeated unlawful imprisonment in cases where the criminal procedure was not implemented.
Polish state-run gas company PGNiG signed a long-term deal with the U.S. energy company Cheniere to secure liquefied natural gas supplies from the United States, as Poland seeks to cut dependence on Russian fuel. Talks about the contract began when U.S. President Donald Trump visited Poland last year.
Poland consumes around 17 billion cubic meters of gas annually, more than half of which comes from Russia's Gazprom under a long-term deal that expires in 2022. Under the terms of the new deal, PGNiG will receive a total of 0.52 million tons of LNG in the period between 2019 and 2022 and 29 million tons in 2023 and 2042, to be delivered to an LNG terminal in the Baltic Sea, the company said. The chair of PGNiG's board, who co-signed the agreement with a Cheniere executive, said the price for gas in the deal would be 20 to 30% cheaper than in one with Gazprom. US Energy Secretary Rick Perry said the agreement contributed to making Poland more secure and diversifying its energy supply.
This is a signal across Europe that this is how your energy future can be developed. The security of your country, the diversity of supply. It's a great day for Europe. The signals couldn't be stronger across this part of the world.
Polska bardzo blisko
Poland wants to work and is already working closely with the United States in the area of security. Today we have American military units present on Polish soil. I am happy that this cooperation is also developing in regard to energy security. When I look at the cooperation, I can safely say that this is a real transatlantic partnership.
Właśnie prawdziwe partnerstwo transatlantyckie.
Poland also plans to build a gas pipeline to Norway via the Baltic Sea and Denmark to allow it to receive up to 10 BCM of gas annually from deposits under the North Sea. Polish officials have repeatedly said that Warsaw pays too much for Gazprom's gas and have opposed the Russian plan to build a new gas pipeline across the Baltic Sea, saying it is aimed at strengthening its dominant market position in the region.
The President of the United States, Donald Trump, has numerous conflicts with the left-wing media, especially with CNN, which he accuses of producing fake news. The most recent clash between the President and CNN journalist, Jim Acosta, took place during yesterday's press conference in the White House.
That this caravan was an invasion. As you know, Mr. President,
I consider it to be an invasion.
As you know, Mr. President, the caravan was not an invasion. It's a group of migrants moving up from Central America towards the border with the U.S.
Thank you for telling me that. I appreciate it.
Why did you characterize it as such?
Because I consider it an invasion. You and I have a difference of opinion.
But do you think that you demonized immigrants in this election to try to keep?
I want them to come into the country, but they have to come in legally. You know, they have to come in, Jim, through a process. I want it to be a process, and I want people to come in, and we need the people.
Your campaign.
Wait. You know why we need the people, don't you? Because we have hundreds of companies moving in. We need the people.
But your campaign had an ad showing migrants climbing over walls and so on.
Well, that's true. But they weren't actors.
They're not going to be doing that.
They weren't actors. Well, no, it's true. Do you think they were actors? They weren't actors. They didn't come from Hollywood. Right. These were people. This was an actual, you know, it happened a few days ago. And
they're hundreds of miles away, though. They're hundreds and hundreds of miles away. That's not an invasion.
Honestly, I think you should let me run the country. You run CNN. All right. And if you did it well, your ratings would be much better.
If I may ask one other question, Mr. President, if I may ask one other question, are you worried?
That's enough. That's enough.
Mr. President, I was going to ask one of the other folks.
That's enough.
Pardon me, ma'am. Mr. President,
that's enough.
Mr. President, I had one other question, if I may ask, on the Russia investigation. Are you concerned that you may have?
I'm not concerned about anything with the Russian investigation because it's a hoax. That's enough. Put down the mic.
Mr. President, are you worried about indictments coming down in this investigation?
Mr. President.
I'll tell you what, CNN should be ashamed of itself having you working for them. You are a rude, terrible person. You shouldn't be working for CNN. Go ahead.
I think that's unfair.
You're a very rude person. The way you treat Sarah Huckabee is horrible. And the way you treat other people are horrible. You shouldn't treat people that way. Go ahead. Go ahead, Peter. Go ahead.
In Jim's defense, I've traveled with him and watched him. He's a diligent reporter who busts his butt.
Well, I'm not a big fan of yours either, so
I understand.
To be honest.
So let me ask you a question, if I can. You repeatedly said
you aren't the best,
Mr. President. You repeatedly, over the course of the...
just sit down, please. Well, when you report fake news, when you report fake news, which CNN does a lot, you are the enemy of the people.
The district court in Warsaw ruled a decision concerning the banned March of Independence, organized every year to celebrate Polish National Independence Day. The event is the largest annual patriotic event in the world, drawing crowds of up to 100,000 people. Judge Michał Jakubowski overturned the appeal decision of the mayor, Hanna Grączkiewicz-Waltz. Thank you for watching Poland Daily. Coming up next, Poland Daily weather. Good night.